Hello moviegoers, Ezra here. Welcome back to another Ezra review. And on today's review, I want to talk about Beverly Hills Cop's Axel F or Beverly Hills Cop 4. Now, this is obviously the fourth movie of the franchise, and let me just start right away. I think this review will contain some spoilers, so if you guys haven't watched Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, then I suggest you guys go watch it first. It's available on Netflix, and after that you guys can go watch this review because I want to go some of the parts of the movie that I love and I didn't really like, because I think this movie is not perfect, and I want to discuss that even deeper, and I thought that, well, since this movie was releasing on streaming, so I thought that, well, it's easy, right? People can just go watch it first and you guys can go watch this video if you want to, of course. So yeah, let me just start by telling you guys a story, I guess, where I first got to know Beverly Hills Cop when I was a child in 2013, I think, or 2014, where I know Eddie Murphy back in 2012, and I back in the day, I thought that Eddie Murphy was just like a guy who makes a lot of family-friendly films, and which is he did, he does that a lot in his recent career, but I never suspected or thought that Eddie Murphy actually makes some, R-rated movie back in the 80s, and one of them is Beverly Hills Cop, and actually the first Beverly Hills Cop movie that I watched is actually the third movie, which is considered the worst of the Beverly Hills Cop movie, which it is, I recently rewatched it again, and yeah, it's not that good, but yeah, I first got to know him from Beverly Hills Cop 1, and I was remembering how surprised I was how foul Eddie Murphy was, how he cursed a lot back in the day, and I'm just like, damn, dude, like, holy shit, and I love it, I love it, even as a kid, I love it, I also watched Beverly Hills Cop 2, and I love this franchise even more now, to the point that I can't even watch Beverly Hills Cop 3 without comparing it to the first two, and how different that movie was, but either way, this movie is obviously about Beverly Hills Cop's Axel F, or the fourth movie, so, does it hold up? Does it live up to the hype? I guess so, maybe, but I don't know. For me, I was expecting a bit more from the movie, to be honest. Like this movie is fun, but I was expecting a bit more, for the characters, for the. I guess the action is good, but I feel like I think that some of the characters could use a bit more screen time, in my opinion, which we're gonna get to that later, So Beverly Hills Cop Axel F was directed by Mark Molloy, which is the directorial debut for him, like this movie was originally going to be directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, which is the director for the Bad Boys movie. And it really sucks me because I think Adil and Bilal will be a good choice to direct the Beverly Hills Cop 4 movie, because I think what I see at least from Bad Boys for Life and Bad Boys Ride or Die, they managed to create a good and fun action sequence, and it was so much fun to watch. So it really sucks that they didn't really get the job, or I guess like they dropped out because of scheduling conflict because of him. There were making Batgirl, I think, at the time, and then we all know what happens to the Batgirl movie. It got canceled. It never got released. So it really sucks that these two couldn't direct the movie. But at the same time, I think Mark Molloy does a pretty good job for the action sequences in the movie. And obviously, because many returning cast like Eddie Murphy, Reinhold, and John Ashton, Paul Racer is coming back, So it's really nice to see all these characters many years later, Also, Sergey or Serge is coming back, once again played by Bronson Pinchot, I think. I might mispronounce his last name, I'm sorry. But Serge, he's coming back, so that's really cool. Always funny to have him in the Beverly Hills Cop movie, to be honest, And yeah, we also got some new casts played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then of course Taylor Page play Jane Foley, which is Axel Foley's daughter, and you got Kevin Bacon, and yeah, it's the cast is great, I think the performances are obviously great, and it's a pretty huge cast, So Beverly Hills Cop Axel F tells a story where he returned to Beverly Hills, after his daughter James was threatened because Jane was able to discover some cases that maybe the police are corrupt in some way, and obviously she got threatened, and then that's where Axel Foley came to Beverly Hills, and the movie itself is actually really nostalgic in a way because the movie opened with the music "The Heat Is On," which is from the original Beverly Hills Cop movie, which is my favorite song in the Hills Cop franchise, and I really excited to see that this movie actually opened up with "The Heat Is On" again, and the shot obviously goes the same way, they show the town of Detroit, with Axel driving around, and it's just like really, really cool, really nostalgic, And after that, we get to see Axel immediately goes to action by stopping several people try to rob the hockey team, I think. And we see Axel chasing the bad guys around Detroit, which is again really fun sequence, and they also bring back the other song from Beverly Hills Cop 2, which is Shakedown, right? And it's like, yeah, it's just really cool, man. They bring back all this classic song as well. Even Neutron Dance was also in this movie, which is really fun. So the opening are really strong in my opinion, because it's a huge nostalgia. It's good to see Axel being in action again, and bring back the song from the first two movies. That's great, And we also get to meet again Paul Race's character again, Jeffrey, who is the chief of the Detroit Police Department, which is like, damn, okay, Jeffrey is the chief. All right, yeah, and it really sucks that what happened to Gil Hill, because sadly he passed away. But I would love to see him come back as Inspector Todd. But obviously, we all know what happens to his character in the third Beverly Hills Cop movie, which, in my opinion, is really disrespectful for what they did for Inspector Todd in the third movie, in my opinion. And I know that Gil Hill sadly passed away, but yeah, it just, I don't know, man. I think his character deserves a better ending, in my opinion. Inspector Todd. Just an opinion, But yeah, Jeffrey's a chief, which is like probably unexpected, but okay, sure. That's one way, I guess, to bring Paul Racer's character back, And we have a nice conversation between Jeffrey and actually, Jeffrey's trying to retire because he's old, right? And he suggested Axel to do the same thing because, like, he's old as well. But Axel doesn't like that, because Axel liked the action as being a cop, and that's the classic Axel Foley, which is completely missing from the third movie, in my opinion, because in that movie he was so serious, right? But in this one, he's going back to being Axel Foley that we know and love, and that's great, And obviously, we've really learned that Axel and his daughter Jane has an estranged relationship, and Jeffrey said that, hey, you should fix your relationship. You should call your daughter and just apologize essentially, and fix your relationship in a way, And it's a really nice moment between these two characters, and I absolutely love that, But after that, we get to see back to Beverly Hills, and then we see obviously Billy Rosewood, once again played by Judgereinhold. And I gotta say, I feel like they did Billy Rosewood all right, I guess. Like, it's not terrible, but I feel like he deserved a lot more screen time, because Billy's role in this movie was pretty substantial, because obviously Billy was able to discover that one of the captain of the Beverly Hills Cop, the police department, actually a corrupt captain, and then Billy's trying to basically uncover this conspiracy, this corrupt conspiracy inside the department, and then he gets Jane's help, because Jane is and Billy was really close, because obviously Axel, Billy, and Taggart was really close, they're like brothers, so Jane are obviously close to Billy and Taggart, and Billy and Jane are working together to uncover this mission. But sadly, Billy got captured, and then he just disappeared for the most part of this movie, and that's really disappointing in my opinion, because I think Just Reinhold are still got it, as Billy Rosewood, and I really wish that he got much more screen time that he is, But at the same time, I don't know, like, I feel like it's not like they didn't ruin, at least they didn't ruin Billy's character, at least, But I wish that he got a lot more screen time. That's, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. So obviously Billy calls Axel, that telling that, oh, Jane's life has been threatened by these criminals, So Axel decided to go to Beverly Hills, and we get to see a fun chase sequence, where Axel is trying to break into Billy's apartment, trying to find the evidence, and then Axel found out that there is several people already there, and then we start a chase sequence, and this is where they bring back the Neutron Dance song, from the first movie. And again, it's just really fun. It's a really nostalgic scenes in a way because of the song. The chase scene was fine, to be honest. It's kind of funny, but also fine. It's not great, but it's all right. It's all right. It's okay. So Axel got arrested, and then this is where we met a new character named Detective Sam Abbott, again played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which I think he does a great job, because I think he and Axel has a great chemistry, so that's good. Sam Abbott is basically Jane's ex-boyfriend, and then obviously after this scene where Axel got arrested, he demanded to see Sergeant, but I guess Chief John Taggart. So we see Taggart again for the first time in a long time. And it was amazing, to see John Ashton came back as Taggart, because again he's been missing from the third movie. He's retired, but now he's come back, in the fourth movie. So it's really nice to see him just come back, and we get to see his wife for the first time, which is really funny for me. It's just like, yeah, continuity, baby. I'm glad they remembered that. So after that, we get to see the captain of the police department, played by Kevin Bacon, named Captain Grant, and obviously he is the main bad guy of the movie. And yeah, Kevin Bacon is always, I don't know, I would say he is charismatic, as an actor. So I think it's really nice to see him in this role here. But after this, like the most of this movie are basically focusing more on Axel and Jane's trying to fix their relationship, and of course Axel and Abbott are teaming up to basically to solve the case that was started by Billy Rosewood. So this whole movie is about them trying to find where Billy was, and then find the evidence that Billy managed to collect. And yeah, I think for throughout the movie we have some fun sequence and fun callback. There is one moment where Axel is trying to invade a mansion, and it's like, yeah, reminding me of the first Beverly Hills Cop movie. There is also a scene where they try to save Billy from in the dock, I think, and then they play the soundtrack from Beverly Hills Cop 2, where they try, but when they find Dan's lair in a way. So I think it's really fun. There's a lot of callback, a lot of nostalgic callback to the previous two Beverly Hills Cop movie. So I think that's really fun. That's really good. However, I do think the story was just okay, to be honest. It works, but also like I was expecting a bit more than that. And like I said before, Billy was missing for the most part of this movie, and it kind of sucks, even though they brought him back in the third act of the movie. So that's really fun to see Judgereinhold acting again as Billy Rosewood are really fun. We also see Taggart again finally back in action, because like he's a chief of police, and Axel basically tell Taggart that, hey, like I want you to be a cop again. I want you to be like your old self. Even though that Taggart was really really old. Like I think John Ashton was like what, like 76-year-old man. Like holy hell. Like he's very old. So obviously he's not gonna be moving that fast like in the old Beverly Hills Cop movie. And that really shows in the action sequence in the third act. We got some fun police chasing, leading up to the third act, kind of like a callback to the truck chasing in a way. So that's really, really fun. But yeah, all the action is in this movie was actually well directed. Every single time there's an action sequence, I think that's like the best part about the movie, and I think the action was really well directed, and yeah, it's just have a lot of energy. So I think that's really, really cool. But at the same time, I was expecting more in terms of the old character, like the legacy character, because I want to see, when I see a Beverly Hills Cop movie, I want to see Axel Foley, Billy Rosewood, and John Taggart to team up solving a case together. And sadly, this movie doesn't give us that much. These three characters doesn't even have the same screen time until the end of the movie, and that really sucks, man. Because again, I don't hate Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, like I think he's fine, Also Axel's daughter Jane are also fine, even though I think the drama between Axel and Jane was kind of a bit overplayed sometimes, because I was like so sick hearing of it, because I was like, dude, like come on, let's solve the mission together. Like, can you please stop fighting? Because I don't really care that much about their relationship, to be honest, But again, it's not the worst writing of the father and daughter relationship, So I think it's just fine, But I just wish that they could reduce that down a little bit, But either way, again, like I said before, I wish that we get to see this trio together in the movie. But sadly, this movie doesn't give us that much of the original trio, And I think until the very end of the movie, and that just really sucks, man. Because I want to see Axel, Billy, and Taggart, kicking ass together for the first time again in many years, And we kind of get that, I guess, in the third act, but also not really. I want to see them like side by side, shooting guns together, And I think that kind of happened in the third act, But Taggart just went in there following the police siren, right? And then he helps Billy, and then that's it. That's what he does, And again, I can't really blame that on Tiger, or I guess John Ashton himself, because again, he's 76-year-old, he's very old, And I think the movie also has some, awareness of that, because it was addressed in the movie that, hey, I'm old, my back has a problem, so I can't move that fast, So it's like, yeah, I understand that, but I kind of wish that we get to see the three of them working together, solving a case, because that's why I love Beverly Hills Cop 1 and especially Beverly Hills Cop 2, because in the second movie we get to see the three of them working together pretty much for the most part of the movie, you know, if not the entire movie of Beverly Hills Cop 2. And I was expecting the same thing happen here, but sadly that didn't happen. You know, we are focusing more on this new character, which is again not a bad character, but I just wish that we get to see the trio together again, you know, and solving the case together, finding crimes together, shooting bad guys together. Like that's what I wanted to see, you know. But for what we get, I think is good enough, you know, as a Beverly Hills Cop movie, you know. It's certainly better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. I don't think there's a, even though I don't think there's a high contender, you know, so I think that's that. But I don't think this movie is any better than the first two movie, because I don't think you can beat the first two movie, because again the cast was young at the time, so they move really fast, the action also really fast, you know, and also has like the 80s nostalgia, like the 80s style of the movie, you know, so I think that's great. Even though this movie has a lot of callback, obviously it doesn't feel like an 80s movie, you know, like sometimes it does, but sometimes not really, you know, which is fine. It doesn't have to be like that, but I'm glad that at least they try to pay homage to the old movies, you know, so that's good. And the music as well by Lauren Buff is also good, you know, because he's using a lot of the Harold Faltermeyer score from the first two movies, so I think that's great, you know. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this movie, you know, even though that, again, I think some of my criticism about the movie, I still stand by that, you know, so hopefully, since they are already developing Beverly Hills Cop 5, it was confirmed by Eddie Murphy and the producer Jerry Bruckheimer, I think. So it's nice to see Jerry Bruckheimer come back to produce this movie, because the third movie is not even produced by Dom Simpson or Jerry Bruckheimer. You know, it was produced by a different person. So it's nice to see him back in this movie, and they confirmed that they already start developing the fifth Beverly Hills Cop movie. So I think that's great. So hopefully in the fifth movie, I want to see Axel, Billy, and Taggart to team up throughout the rest of the movie. You can bring back Detective Abbott, you can bring back Jane, that's fine, because they are a new character, you know, so obviously you're gonna bring them back. But I want to see the trio together, solving crimes and fighting crimes together. That's what I wanted to see from my Beverly Hills Cop movie. And again, sadly, this movie doesn't give us that, you know. So hopefully in the fifth movie, since they are developing it and they have several ideas apparently, hopefully these three characters can be together for the rest of the movie, because that's what I wanted to see, you know. Again, I know this is just my personal opinion, you know. Some of you might disagree with that, that's fine, but that's what I wanted to see, you know. That's what I love Beverly Hills Cop, you know. I love the characters, so hopefully they do that in the fifth movie, you know. So but either way, that's my review for Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. You know, it's a fun movie, you know, and I think people will love it, you know. But I would say I wish that we get to see the original character more and see them teaming up more in the movie. That's what I wanted from this movie, and yeah, hopefully they do that in the future movies. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below, guys. What do you guys think about Beverly Hills Cop Axel F? You know, do you guys love the movie? Do you guys dislike the movie? You know, let me know your opinions or your criticism about the movie in the comment section below. You know, are you guys excited for the fifth Beverly Hills Cop movie? I know I am, you know, because I want to see these three characters together. Hopefully, that's my wish for the future movie, you know. So yeah, let me know your opinions in the comment section below, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure guys you shoot that subscribe and like button, guys. Share the videos, the usual stuff, and stay tuned for more videos in the future, guys. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.